the struggles with the offensive line, a lack of explosive plays by the receivers, and Ezekiel Elliott's suspension. But he said some of the issues fall on Dak himself. Josh said, I think Dak started to lose some confidence. When Dak loses his confidence, like all quarterbacks, you lose a little bit. You're not willing to pull that trigger. I've always felt year 2 defenses now have studied you year 1. They know everything that you do. They've got 30 guys in the corner watching the tape, and they're going to make you play your weakness. And they forced Dak to do some things he was not comfortable doing. He did not play as well as he can play, but I know the guy has God-given talent to be a terrific quarterback. You're joined by Fox NFL analyst Mark Schlereth. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you. It's good to be here, as always.
Do you agree with Jaws?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are always reasons, you know. I mean, you can make excuses, but there's always reasons where a guy's play slips off, be it injury, be it changes. And I just look at, at one thing in general. One, Smith didn't have the same year he did at left tackle because he was injured. Mm-hmm. Ronald Leary, a guy that was kind of the enforcer for them, is playing in Denver. Mm-hmm. Collins is out at the right tackle. That's a switch in position as well, a guy that was more suited at guard.
He was not effective on the outside. He wasn't.
Not. And so that's a big issue. But I just look at first downs in general. First downs, people always talk about third down being the most important down in football. First down, most important down in football, because if you're productive on first down, you know what you are on? Third down and short. Third down and short is a great down. Third down and long stinks. As an offensive lineman, third down and long, you don't want to be in that because you're going to get beat. So you look at Zeke Elliott in his first year, 5.5 yards per carry on first down, over 1,100 yards on first down alone. When you're in second down and 4 minus, second down and 5 minus as an offense, every play in your playbook, regardless of where you are on the field, is wide open. It's wide. Everything is open. So all your play action stuff works. Everything works. When you're not in those situations this year, Zeke Elliott, missed 6 games, went down to 4.3 yards per carry on first down, a 20% drop, and only had 600 yards on first down. Like, now all of a sudden, we're not open on everything. Our whole playbook isn't at our disposal anymore because of the lack of production or the drop-off in production. It's still decent production, but it's not like what it was. So more of the onus went on Dak Prescott, a second-year young player. And you're going to have some struggles, whether it be confidence, whether it be in long yardage situations, your play action isn't as effective. All those things happened to the Dallas Cowboys last year, and that's why you see that lack of production or that fall-off in production for Dak Prescott.
For me, I don't think Dak lost confidence. Stink, you remember in '98 when John went down with the hamstring injury, we realized we had to pick up our level of play. The guys around Bubby had to play better.
John Elway, Bubby Brister.
Bubby Brister, correct. So Dak is saying, hold on, wait a minute. I'm supposed to have a #1 receiver in Dez Bryant. I got an all-time great tight end, and I can't get no big plays down, chunk plays down the field? Well, if you allow the defense to, the majority of the time, to play within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, you're going to be in trouble if you can't throw the ball over the top of the head. And the Cowboys couldn't throw the ball over the top of their head because Dez can't consistently get separation. Cole Beasley was an afterthought. How a guy go from 77 catches down to like under 40, I don't know. And they didn't get consistent play from Terrence Williams given the money they gave him, Skip, as you mentioned.
Yep.
But they are a run-based team, Stink. They base everything out of Zeke. Look, they were still able to, with Smart, and they were still able to run, but Zeke put fear in.
They were second in the NFL in rush yards, but to your point, that they weren't getting 5 yards on first down every time.
Zeke, when Zeke is doing this, now we can play action you. Now guys are wide open because you got to drop that safety down in the box. If you don't drop the safety down in the box, we're going to run you out of this coverage. So, but they couldn't do that. So now, okay, what about the line? Okay, after the third sack. Okay, what about the fourth? Are you going to get a left tackle any help? Or you going to wait till you get to 8, and then you're going to try to do something about it? And then he's looking around. He's looking at Jared Goff. He's looking at Carson Wentz. He's like, damn, I'm so much better than they were last year. They go get some help.
They all got help.
The guys making plays. Yep. I can't get one of my guys to make a play
Not
for
one
me.
guy. And you can't get your best in football offensive line to block for you. They can't pass block, and they were okay run blocking, but they were pretty pathetic. And his sacks went up by 7 from 25 to 32. And it seemed like he got sacked 20 times just at Atlanta. So before I get to this, big picture, what concerns me the most about Dak Prescott right now is he is capitalizing on fame and stature he has not yet earned because he is doing 12 national ads for 12 different companies already. And last year as a rookie, when he was having the best rookie year I ever saw any quarterback have in this league, he was doing no national ads for no companies. All of a sudden, the world discovered America's team's quarterback. He's a good guy. He presents well on television. And Cam got a little situation going over here, and he lost Dannon, and Dannon came to Dak Prescott. So he's doing everybody. He's doing Beats, and he's doing DirecTV, and he's doing Adidas, and he's doing Dannon, he's doing everybody, and it's too much too soon. But did he lose some confidence? I think you say no. I think he did, because he's human, man. He didn't have LeBron needs help. Dak really needed help in his sophomore slump season. Did he start to? He's human, man. He doesn't have one receiver who can separate, not one. Des Bryant went from strength for Tony Romo to liability for last year's Cowboys. I hope they just cut bait with him. I'm not sure Jerry can move himself to let go of.
But he's going to be in line for a pay cut.
Well, he has to take a pay cut or they're in big trouble. And they have to draft a receiver who can separate. Bryce Butler can run by people, and they wouldn't play him. And he sat right there in your chair about 6 weeks ago and said, follow the money.
Yep.
Who's getting the money? Dez is getting the money. Terrence Williams got the money. So they played those two. Terrence Williams was just kind of a no-show all year. I didn't even know he played. And Cole Beasley, they start doubling little Cole Beasley in the slot, and he goes from 75 catches to 36.
Right.
That's an enormous drop. And you can't get protected, and then your defense goes from 5th in points allowed to 13th in points allowed. That's a pretty big drop. And all of a sudden, Sean Lee misses 6 games, and you are a disaster in the second half of all 6 games. And obviously, Zeke is gone for 6 games, and it leaves the quarterback out on an island. And he got a little desperate, and he tried things he didn't try as a rookie, where he's just trying to force things. And Ron Jaworski's final thought in the quotes that we saw and read, quarterback is still a dependent position.
Absolutely.
And it just is. They get too much blame. They get too much credit.
Sure.
Okay? And in this case, he is looking around at Carson Wentz, who had he struggled his rookie year, man. And I'm like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden you go get him 2 receivers and you get him 2 running backs. And the offensive line, somehow it gelled without Jason Peters. When they put Big V over at left tackle, it was clicking. I thought it was the best offensive line I saw in the playoffs.
And then Clement, and then Sproles goes down,
how
and then
about
Clement
that?
comes in.
Where did he
and
come
then
from?
It's a beat.
Yeah.
Man.
It's been amazing. I'll tell you one thing about those receivers that aren't separating. When you are so good at running the ball and you can flag that ball out there, then you can get separation.
Yeah.
Right? You can get by with a guy that can't run anymore.
Right.
They can get down the seam. You can get Jason Witten down the seam. When you can do those things, you can get Cole Beasley away from double teams. But when you're truly not threatened, when as a football team you're like, all right, listen, we're going to give that up, and we're going to get you in 3rd down and 3+, and then we're going to let your quarterback beat us. And we don't think your receivers can get that done because we're not going to respect the play action. You can dictate to an offense as opposed to year 1 under Dak. That offense dictated to defenses across the National Football League. Year 2, because of Zeke Elliott, the suspension, is he playing, is he not playing? There's lack of continuity, doesn't practice, and all of a sudden he's back at practice, then all of a sudden he's got to take the suspension late in the season. All those factors went into your quarterback and your receivers not having the kind of year they had the year before.
And sometimes, Skip, when you look, John, we know he's all-time great, but sometimes he was struggling. I knew it was my job to make a play. It's not going to be perfect, but I had to go make a play. And if you're a wide receiver or tight end in this league, if you can't consistently beat man coverage, you either coaching or selling cars. So, Cowboy receivers, you got, Jerry, Jerry get too close to his player, Skip. He holds on to him too long, and it blinds him sometimes. But there's no way you can't win if your guys can't consistently. Look at Alshon. You look at what happened in the Super Bowl. You look at those tight rubber meet the road, Zach Ertz go make a play for me.
Right.
You think they're going to line Jason Witten up outside in a ball game like that and says, okay, go run a slant, go be the DB.
Yeah, would you rather have Jason Witten or Zach Ertz? I mean, Zach Ertz is really, I told you before the game.
By the way, you know what? If you lined up Alshon Jeffrey and 20 other wide receivers, I guarantee you he's not beating many of them.
No.
But you know what he is? He's open.
rise and shine.
Yes.
Right. And you know, there's certain guys that can get that done even though they don't have the skill to maybe run away from people.
That used to be Dez.
And Dez has that, you know, Dez had that ability.
Okay, but
Right
bottom
now,
line,
it's not going on.
despite all of the above, Dak's QBR fell all the way from 3rd in the NFL to 4th last year.
Joy.
I'm not giving up.
At my restaurant, I don't serve QBR. I serve W's and L's. Now, what did he have a lot of this year, Skip?
LeBron has 5 L's
Yes,
in
we
the
ain't
finals.
talking about. Hold on. Are you putting Dak Prescott in the
5
same breath?
Yes, I am. I just
I'm
did.
done with
Why are you serving L's at your restaurant? You shouldn't be.
They don't serve
just
L's.
W's, man.
No, that's what he got.
Yeah, he lets LeBron come to the restaurant
Short
with
menu.
5
You know
L's
what
in the
his
finals.
menu's got? Chicken. It's got grilled chicken
Yeah.
and buckwheat pancakes without syrup.
And hummus.
Joy, stop hating on my meals. Those are delicious.
They're not delicious.
They are. Skip.
I'm
Isn't
only
hummus
hating because
delicious?
you pretend like you don't eat that. Mark, thanks for joining us. Anthony Davis says